Hello everyone and welcome to my anime first impressions video of spring 2016. I'm really excited to talk about this season because I haven't made one of these videos in like 2 seasons, something like that. One of the major reasons being that I would start watching the shows and be like, God, everything is garbage. Like this last season, okay, I'm sorry for anybody who was like, the last couple of seasons were really good, I really enjoyed them. But like this last season, I watched Erased, and that was it, and nothing else really appealed to me, nothing else was interesting to watch. For me, I'm, obviously speaking for myself, but this season, oh my goodness, I am so jazzed because so many shows are really good. And again, this is a first impressions video, so all of my opinions on any of these are going to be based on either the first episode or the first 2 episodes, depending on how many have come out so far. Unfortunately, these episodes roll out over a series of like 1 or 2 weeks, so even though one show might have started a couple of weeks ago, some shows, their first episode just went out, right? So you wind up with a situation where you're watching the first episode of something and something else is about to air its 3rd episode. But, yeah, I wanted to give you guys my thoughts, my feels on this season so far because I'm really jazzed about it. And it seems like a lot of people are really jazzed about it, but they're not sure what specifically are the super cool things to be watching. So, maybe I can give you guys a little bit of an idea. I also tend to pride myself on being able to cover not only the shows that everybody's super jazzed about, but also the shows that maybe nobody really had an eye on until the season started, which means that you could typically expect me to have watched 15 or more shows. This time I thought I had watched 17. It turns out I watched 19. So I will, as always, try to be succinct, but not promising anything. Okay, so let's start a little bit fluffy. We have a short form called Pan de Peace, or I assume Bread of Peace. It's about girls. It's a little moe short form. It's about girls who really love baking and bread, and they become friends, and then they do baking and bread together. And that's it. I mean, it's pretty cute and simple. If it pulls a Gakko Garashi and in the end one of the girls is like a serial killer and murders all of the other girls, then hey, man, it'll surprise me. But I think it's just gonna continue to be like a fluffy short form about girls baking stuff. Ace Attorney, Phoenix Wright, anime. I am about to alienate some members of the anime community, and I'm so sorry, but goodness gracious, I'm finding myself in the minority here on my opinions about Ace Attorney. I think it's garbage so far, I really do. So, the animation is pretty lackluster. There were many times where people were moving around and we were like, what is happening right now? But my big issue with it, like, look, I can get past animation that isn't top tier, right? Like, I don't need that to enjoy an anime. What I do need is for, especially an anime that's taken from a game, I need the port into anime life to make sense, and it doesn't make sense in this situation because what they do is, any of you who have played the Ace Attorney games, so the very first Ace Attorney game starts you off and it holds your hand quite a bit, right? Because it's going, hey, you're a lawyer. Here's how to play the game. They've taken that exact sequence of stuff, but then tried to turn it into an anime, and it makes no sense because when you're playing a game, yes, I am in control of the situation. I need you to teach me how to be a lawyer in this world. In an anime, none of us yahoos who have no idea what's going on are in control of anything, right? In an anime, Phoenix can be the competent attorney that he is supposed to be instead of having the whole first episode be, all right, Phoenix, here's what you're going to do. You're going to have to find a connection between something that someone said and evidence. Can you find the point at which a contradiction was made? Why does that need to be in the anime? That needs to be in the game because we don't know how to do that. But in the anime, that doesn't need to be there. It makes no sense. I just feel like the flow is wrong. It's like really, really off in that show. And they try to take assets and they try to take moments within the game that worked in the game and don't work in the anime. And coupled with bad animation, I just can't. But again, I realize that I am in the minority there. I have seen plenty of people, when I went on Twitter and I asked, what's your favorite anime this season? Tell me what I should be watching. I want to make sure that I've watched everything that, that is of note. And then some. A lot of people said Ace Attorney. So if you feel that way, I'm so sorry. This is just how I felt personally when watching it. And I watched the second episode, and it still was not working for me. So we'll see. I don't know. Our other video game anime of this season is Final Fantasy 15 Brotherhood. Actually, it's swapped. It's like Brotherhood : Final Fantasy 15. Anyways, so with the new Final Fantasy game, they decided that they were going to have a movie, as well as an anime that were going to come out in conjunction, as well as an entire line of clothes, but we don't need to talk about that. So Brotherhood Final Fantasy 15 is a short form, actually, which a lot of people don't know. There are some things on this list where you go into it thinking that's gotta be a short form, but it's not. It's a full-length anime. This one, it was the opposite, where I figured, oh, it's gotta be full-length, right? Because there's only gonna be so many episodes. But no, it's short form. And it sets up all of the characters. It's a prologue to the game, which I think is so smart, because I can already feel myself, like, developing affection for these characters, right? Like I'm interested in finding out what's going to happen to them, and I think that's so smart, because then the game is going to come out, and I'm going to be like, well, I have to play the game now. I want to know what happens. But yeah, it looks really nice, and knowing the way that people fight in Final Fantasy 15, the way that you swap weapons, the way they've animated that, I think is great. I think that it's really clear what's happening, and it also manages to look good. So yeah, I've enjoyed it so far. Again, the second episode is not out yet, even though this was one of the very first anime of the season that was released. So I think they're just going to do, since there's only like 5 or 6 episodes, I think, they're gonna do like long scatterings of the episodes, but I'm cool with that. I don't know. I think that it'll be a good companion piece to the game. Okay, the next one on the list is called Tanaka-kun is Always Listless. And this show, you guys love this show. Can I just say, when I was asking for your favorite anime of the season, so many of you were like, Tanaka-kun is so good. It's like one of the best this season, for sure. And I watched it. I wouldn't agree that it's one of the best this season. I think that it's cute, but it did something that I didn't expect whatsoever. So the show itself is about a character named Tanaka who doesn't want to do anything. He wants to sleep. He doesn't want to exercise. He doesn't want to do work. He just wants to like relax and sleep and be lazy for his entire life. That's like his goal, right? And I expected it to be that there would be Tanaka, and then all of the characters around him, like the supporting cast, right, quote, quote, would be very vibrant, and that's how they would balance it out. That is not what happens in this show at all. If you're like me, you watched the first episode, and you walked away from it going, that was entertaining, and it was really cute, but I also kind of felt like I was gonna fall asleep, because the whole show, like, him, his best friend, their other friends, every character in this show is either monotone or just kind of like drolls along in terms of how they talk. You know, the whole show kind of feels sleepy, and that might be intentional, but it makes you sleepy too. Like, I felt like I was gonna fall asleep watching this show, and I was like, it's really cute. I don't know why I feel like I'm gonna fall asleep, but it's because the whole tone of the show is sleepy. So yeah, a lot of you said that it was great and that it was your favorite. I don't think that I would say it's one of my favorite, because I did feel myself drifting while I was watching it, and not in a way where I could continue to pay attention, if that makes sense. BAKUON, okay, here's another one that some of you disagreed with me on. I think BAKUON is so cute. It's about girls who love motorcycles, and that's the whole show. It starts off with our main character, and she is on a little bike, like a normal little bicycle, and she's trying to go up the hill to get to her school, and she's just having a rough time of it. And while on her way to school, she sees another girl on a motorcycle, and she loves the sound of it. She doesn't like the idea of being on a motorcycle, but she just, like, there's something about it that intrigues her, right? And so she winds up meeting the girl who was on the motorcycle, and through a series of events gets sort of wrapped up in this club of girls who are all obsessed with motorcycles, and takes her first motorcycle ride and just, like, loves the feeling of being on a motorcycle, and decides that she wants to get her license and join the motorcycle club for real. So I thought that it was so cute. I was like, I love this. I love the characters. I think it's so cute. It's really, really hard for me to like moe shows, and not because I have any sort of pre-established feelings about moe, but just because the shows don't tend to be interesting to me, right? Like, it takes something, some other sort of special spark in there to make me go, yeah, this is the sort of thing that I want to be watching. I need more than just, oh my gosh, we're all friends and we love each other so much, which will come up in a later anime that's on this list. We're all friends and we love each other so much. I'm like, that's great. I just need more, right? Like, I need another layer. Please, just like one more layer on this cake, and most of the time they don't have that extra layer that I'm looking for. BAKUON, I feel like, has that extra layer because there's just enough weird stuff going on in it, and there's that really I don't know, that really fun, heartwarming determination value of the whole thing as well. Like, this girl who just like really wants to learn how to ride motorcycles, you know? I found it so endearing. I thought that it was really, really cute, and I'm very excited to keep watching BAKUON. So yeah, I would say, out of everything that I watched, if you're looking for a show that's just like very moe, just like really cute girls like doing something, try out BAKUON, because I think it's adorable. Mayoiga! The Secret Village. Oh my gosh, this show, I am very excited about this show. So, Secret Village is about a group of people, and we meet them on a bus. They're all on kind of this weird, sketchy bus ride. And it's established at the very beginning of the show that they are going somewhere. That they want to go start a new life. You don't know why. You don't know who these people are. They all introduce themselves with, like, what you have to assume are made-up names, right? Like, they've left their whole past behind. So, I've watched 2 episodes so far. I think this show is so interesting, and I want it to get really dark really fast, because it already feels kind of dark and weird. I want it to get darker and weirder, because there's such a big cast. It's so many people, and even though it happens in the very first episode, I don't want to spoil anything that's happened in this show so far. I just really want this show to be the one that creeps me out. So far, it's done a good job of establishing characters as being very individual and interesting in kind of a Lost way, if that makes sense. You know, like, any of you who ever watched the show Lost, how it had such a big cast of people, but it did a pretty good job of slowly, like, having you understand who everybody is. This show has already done a really good job of that just in a couple of episodes. So, I get the feeling that it's going to be an intriguing show, for sure. Sakamoto desu ka is the next one on our list, or translated into, haven't you heard, I'm Sakamoto. It is really funny. This is a really, really funny show. It's about Sakamoto, who is the cooler, and coolest man in school. He is cool no matter what he does, and the whole show so far has been filled with goofs about how cool he is. And what I mean by that is there will be like one kid who's like, I hate that guy. Like, let's take him down a notch, but no matter what they do to him, he manages to just look cooler. I don't know how to explain this show without just being like, please go watch it. Like, it's so funny. It's so well done. My big concern, because it's not a short form, right? Like, it's like a full-on anime. My big concern is that the goof won't be able to last. Like, after a few episodes, we'll be like, okay, we get it. He's cool, cooler, coolest. We get it. But, you know, what do I know? I'm not a professional goof creators like the members of the team who are making Sakamoto desu ka. So, I'm sure that they are crafting brilliance as we speak. And I'm sure that the show is gonna be goofs from here to the end of the earth. But yes, as far as comedy goes, Sakamoto desu ka, one of my faves from this season for sure. Very funny. Definitely check it out. It's just adorable. Joker Game! Oh my god, I'm so excited to talk to you about Joker Game. Joker Game is amazing! It's about spies. It's about a school that's creating spies. And it's so good so far. I can't even with this show. Like, every character is interesting. Everyone's like really smart and really good at their jobs. And you're just like, what? I find this show to be extremely engaging. Extremely engaging. From the second I started watching it, I was like, all right, okay, interesting, yeah. And the first 2 episodes are a 2-parter. So watching them together, I had to wait, because I watched the first episode and then I was like, and had to wait for the second episode. It was such a good payoff. Like, those 2 episodes together really established the show in a way that makes me jazzed about the rest of it. I can't wait to watch the rest of this show. It's gonna be awesome, I feel like. I feel like out of all of the dramas to watch this season, this is the one that has the potential to be the best, for sure. Boku no Hero Academia is an anime that I have been excited about because I did not like the manga. Any of you who watched the manga pod where we read Boku no Hero Academia, you know that when we read Boku no Hero, I was not into it at all. I was starting to get into it by the end of the reading, but the whole beginning was sort of, it had moments of brilliance, but the world building left me so wanting. You know, I wanted to see what the world was like in a more casual sense instead of just entirely focusing on this big, broad aspect. So basically, Boku no Hero Academia takes place in a world where everybody has quirks. Quirks are like powers of some sort. Some powers are useless, some powers are really great. And then there are people who are quirkless. There are people who are born and don't have any kind of a quirk. So it follows a character, our main character, who is quirkless, but he is obsessed with heroes and he wants to be a hero very badly. And of course, because he is quirkless in a world of quirks, everybody's like, there's no way you can possibly be a hero. And it's his story. I think that it translates to anime very well because it has a style that we don't see in anime very often. It has sort of a, I don't want to say a graffiti style, but that's what comes to my mind first. There's like interesting aspect and really sharp edges to a lot of things that happen in this, while at the same time sort of goofing off of American superheroes in big ways. But I think that it's just so fun to watch because it's animated really well while also sticking to the sort of art style that the manga had. It stands out. It really, really does in a fantastic way, and I think the way they translated certain story elements of the manga into anime form has been really cool to watch. So if you're looking for a shonen battle to watch, I'm hoping that this one is going to deliver, because so far it's taken the manga and made it better in ways that I think Haikyuu did as well. So yeah, Boku no Hero is the one that I went into expecting nothing. And have found myself very pleasantly surprised with it. And I can't wait to see things that I have read in the manga that were very engaging and interesting. I can't wait to see them become part of the anime. ReZero, I don't even know what to say about ReZero. ReZero was recommended to me a lot because it's a cute little weeb kid gets thrown into a fantasy world and then they goof on every video game trope ever, right? It's that. Normal kid gets transported to a fantasy world and then spends the entire first episode being like, well, are my powers gonna, like, manifest? Or, like, am I, like, the main character? I must be, right? Because I was, like, transported here for a reason, but then, like, who transported me? Was it a cute girl? Like, just goof, 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 goof. A lot of people said that they really liked it because they found the protagonist to be very engaging. They thought that he had, like, kind of a sweet, naive aspect to him that they found really endearing in a character. I was bored out of my mind, and I feel really bad about that because so many people liked it. So I think I'm gonna continue to give it more shots. I'm gonna watch more of it just to like make sure that maybe I just wasn't in the right mood. Maybe I just wasn't in the right mood for it. I don't know. All I know is that I did not enjoy it. I didn't find anything about it engaging or new or interesting, and it bummed me out because so many people said it was good. So I don't know. I didn't see it bring anything new to the table, if that makes sense. And the characters weren't cute enough for me to be like, oh, that's okay, it doesn't need to do anything new because the characters are great. I didn't connect with anything that was going on in that anime, so if you're going by my opinion, I would say, take it or leave it. We've had plenty of people getting trapped in MMOs or people getting transported to alternate universe stuff. But enough people have liked it that I would say, you know what, if this is the sort of genre that you tend to really enjoy, go ahead and give it a shot and then come back and tell me how wrong I am. That's cool. Flying Witch! So cute! So Flying Witch is a slice of life about a witch. It's so cute! It's this girl who shows up in a small town as part of like her witch training. So the idea is that once you hit a certain age, you're supposed to move out and live on your own. But her family wanted her to move out and stay with relatives. So she goes and she stays with her cousin who lives in like a little mountain village somewhere. And her little tiny cousin who doesn't remember her because at the time that they saw each other last, the younger cousin was like 2 or 3 years old. So, the show is basically like she shows up with her cat and meets the family and then starts doing like kind of cute magic stuff. And her little cousin is like very wary of her at first and then warms up to her realizing like, oh my gosh, are you a witch? You know, and it's so cute. It's a really cute anime so far with interesting like surreal aspects to it. It doesn't let you forget that she's a witch, right? So she'll like, the end of the first episode is like, what? It's like cute, what? It's like, but it's still all tied together. It didn't feel like it was from a totally different show. It just felt like, oh, that's right, she's a witch, I guess, like she's a witch, right? But yeah, if you like slice of life, try out Flying Witch. It's cute. And happy. Okay, remember when we were talking about BAKUON and I was like, man, I can't quite get super into shows that are just like, friendship will get us through anything. Okay, so And Happy. And Happy is an anime about a bunch of girls who, well, just people in general, but all of the main characters are girls. It's a show about a bunch of people who have applied for this very good school. And they got in. And you realize that some of them are surprised that they got in. They're like, huh, cool. I mean, I just applied on a whim, but I'm glad I got in. That's great. And it turns out that all of these girls that we're following in the show, all of them have been put into a very specific class. A class for people who are miserable. And so the expectation now, right, of the show is that throughout the show, they are going to learn how to be happy because there is some aspect of their life that is keeping them from being happy. So far, we've met, I think, 3 girls that I assume are going to be main characters, and they're all adorable. Like, it's a cute show, but it's, I can't see myself watching more of it. You know, with so many, like, really good shows this season, And Happy doesn't give me something that makes me go, ooh, I bet, like, that'll be intriguing. Like, sure, it'll be probably a really cute feel-good show, you know. But unless I'm looking for that, I can't see myself watching it necessarily. Space Patrol LULUCO. Studio Trigger did 2 shows this season. So let's talk about LULUCO first. It's their short form. And it is ridiculous in the best way. I absolutely love it. Oh my goodness, it's about a little girl. And her dad is part of the Space Patrol, but for reasons that happen in the show, he can't be a space patrolman, and so the agency, the Space Patrol Agency, decides that she's going to be a Space Patrol person now because they need one in the middle school. So they make her a Space Patrolman, and then just weird stuff happens. Just weird stuff happens. And I love it. I absolutely love it because I think Studio Trigger's art style and just the way that they tell stories, like think of Kill la Kill, right? Think of how surreal they're willing to go with it, how fast everything moves, right? It's so perfect for short form. It's so perfect for short form. Like, I never thought to myself, oh, Studio Trigger should make a short form anime. But now I'm like, of course they should make a short form anime. Because they're so good at doing just like, whip, right? Like, we're going from this to this to this to this to this, and then this is happening, and like, we're gonna just, you know, run over that joke and act like it never happened, but you saw it happen. You know, they're very good at that stuff. So LULUCO, I think, is, oh my god, is great. It's, out of the short forms, even including Brotherhood, out of the short forms, I think that it's the best because it's really hard. I don't know why. I honestly don't know why, but it's very, very hard for development teams to make short form anime that makes sense, you know? Because they always have to tell a story way faster than they want to tell it. And Studio Trigger, I feel like, figured it out with LULUCO. Just the combination of their style plus a short form anime, it works. It really works. The other one that a lot of people have been super jazzed about is called KIZNAIVER. That's another one that Studio Trigger did. I don't even know what to say about KIZNAIVER. I mean, I'll tell you this. I'm super jazzed about it. I like it a lot so far. It kept making me think it was going in one direction, and then it wasn't, and it was going in another direction, and by the end of the episode, I was like, yeah, okay, I'm in, you got me. You've grabbed my attention, right? And again, Studio Trigger, great at coming up with character designs that are interesting, and having stories that are a little bit off in a way that people tend to find intriguing. I think that this definitely counts for that. Yeah, at the beginning I was like, okay, this seems like I kind of know where it's going. And then by the middle I was like, maybe I have no idea where this is going. And then at the end I was like, yeah, I had no idea where that was going. Apparently, yeah, I had no idea. I liked it a lot though. I really did. And after Kill la Kill went a little haywire for me at a certain point, and I stopped enjoying it as much. And so I was a little bit nervous to watch KIZNAIVER, but I like it. I like it a lot. So yeah, my recommendation is pretty solid on that one. Kabaneri of the Iron Fortress. This is one I hadn't heard about at all. I knew nothing about it. It's by the same team that does Attack on Titan, which will intrigue some of you. And for others of you, you'll be like, where's the next season of Attack on Titan? Have you been busy making this garbage anime and did not make Attack on Titan? What the heck? But it might help you to know the Kabaneri of the Iron Fortress is very interesting. Imagine, if you will, zombies during an industrial period in Japan. Go. As a person who is super sick of zombies, this guy, I am. As a person who is super sick of zombies, having it be zombies fighting steampunk Bushido is like, I'm in. I'm super, super duper in. They do a weird thing in this show, though. I'm gonna warn you because I wish someone had warned me. They do a weird thing in this show where anytime they're trying to show some emotion on one of the lady characters' faces, it's like they put Gaussian blur and then a light filter on their face. It's so weird. The whole anime looks very Attack on Titan-y. It has, that really, really good, clean animation. And then it's almost like they zoomed in really far on their face and, it gets a little blurry and, their lips, stand out more and there's so much, white, gloss all over their face and you're like, what is happening? And now that I'm putting it in such an extreme way, maybe when you watch the show you'll be like, it's not as bad as she made it sound. I hope so, because when I was watching it I was like, what are they doing? This is so weird. but dang, that first episode, fantastic. Twin Star Exorcists. This show was pitched to me as, if you like Soul Eater, you'll love Twin Star Exorcists. So I said, I love Soul Eater, so let's do this. I don't know if they said that because one of the characters has shark teeth. They might have. They might have been like, if you think Soul is cool, wait till you see this guy. Twin Star Exorcists got really interesting for me about halfway through the first episode. It is about exorcists, so they're not lying there. It has the, I assume, main girl who doesn't have time for anybody, which I'm kind of tired of that trope, but oh well. And then, I don't know, there were a lot of things that sort of missed the mark for me in that first episode. But when they do, like, the action scenes of this show, it's really cool. Is that enough to make me keep watching? I don't know. I did not care enough about any characters or the storyline to guarantee that I will keep watching this show. But man, when they were, like, doing exorcist stuff, I was like, cool! That looks super cool, right? But the show itself, I think, is just kind of like, it's alright so far. Again, as a reminder, there are plenty of phenomenal anime out there that take a couple of episodes. That's just like a general warning for this entire video, really. But, yeah, Twin Star Exorcists is, like, for me, it's just okay so far. Would I keep watching it? If I think of it, if I want something to watch and I've caught up on everything else that I, like, really care about, then, yeah, I might try to keep watching it, but it's definitely not fully on my radar. SUPERLOVERS. I have so many problems with SUPERLOVERS, and I'm not gonna go into all of my problems with SUPERLOVERS. I'm not gonna go on a big rant about how there are so many really great shonenai and yaoi that you could be making an anime of, but you choose SUPERLOVERS. But that's fine. I mean, do what you want. But, okay, so SUPERLOVERS is about a guy who goes to visit his mom, and his mom has taken in a young boy from an orphanage. And this boy is wild, right? Like, it's obvious he was abused, he didn't want to talk, he didn't want to take baths, he just wanted to be outside with the dogs, right? And so, this kind of older kid comes over and befriends him and manages to be sort of his, like, anchor in the family. And, but he doesn't live there, right? So, at the end of the summer, he spends the whole summer there. That's the whole first episode. And at the end of the summer, he says, in 5 years, when I move to Tokyo, you are gonna come and live with me, and we're gonna be brothers. And then he gets into an accident and forgets his whole summer. Of course! So he doesn't remember this kid at all, right? And then it does like a 5 years later, and the kid shows up on his doorstep and is like, we're living together now. And thus, the story begins. So, I was assured, because I looked at the promo pictures for this anime, and I was like, that looks like a child. That looks like a tiny baby boy in this thing. And everybody was like, no, he gets older. There's a time skip, and he gets older, and it's fine. So, yes, there's a time skip, but he looks the same. He's still he looks like he's 9. And this is coming from somebody who has looked very young my entire life. But, like, he looks like a tiny child. And they want to, like, establish this love story between these two characters, and one of them looks like a tiny kid, and I can't do it. I can't watch this show. I can't do it. But Dodger, there's going to be yet another time skip at a different point, and then it'll be super fun. I don't care. I don't trust that they're actually going to ever make this kid look his age. Ever, ever, ever. So, I can't. I can't watch it. I can't watch it. It weirds me out too much. And I was like, thinking in my mind, I was like, God, there's so many other ones you could make, but instead, you made SUPERLOVERS, which is fine. It's your company. You make whatever anime you want, but like, dang it, we get so few of that genre as it is. Whatever. Bungou Stray Dogs is interesting! And I know that I overuse the word interesting so much, but it is. It is interesting. It's basically about this like special force that deals with supernatural stuff, right? Because they all have superpowers. And at the beginning of the show, we follow this kid who's been kicked out of an orphanage, and he's very hungry, and he meets one of the guys who's from this special group. And then the story progresses from there. I don't want to like do any, I don't want to say anything beyond that because I don't want to spoil the first episode for you. But characters are cool and interesting. The anime itself, like the way that it's animated, and the story, I find very interesting so far. Will it continue to be interesting? I have no idea. I have no clue. But I really enjoyed the first episode to the point where I started off the episode going, okay, this is probably going to be like pretty generic, right? But hey, I'll watch it. I guess it's like on my queue. And then at the end I was like so hyped for the second episode. So I would definitely recommend Bungo Stray Dogs. A little bit of a warning that one of the characters is constantly trying to commit suicide, and that's like a little weird. And as a final anime to discuss, JoJo's Diamond is Unbreakable. Man, it's been a while since I've been on a JoJo's train, and ooh, this one is good. I think that this one is really good. It's still got all the buff boys you could ever want, all the colors. It's just so many bright, lovely colors throughout the whole thing. And intense story. I had forgotten that aspect of JoJo's, that like, it feels so silly because it's just big buff men like posing and doing ridiculous things, but it's dark. It's like dark stories, dark situations, right? This is definitely not a show that you should watch with your kids. Definitely not. But man, just so stylized and perfect. Like, I've loved the first two episodes. The third episode, at the time that I'm filming this, the third episode has just come out, and Alex has already messaged me and been like, my favorite character of all time has shown up and everything is wonderful. So I'm like, all right, great. Yeah. JoJo's. I walked away from JoJo's for a little bit and then came back for Diamond is Unbreakable, and ooh, I made the right choice. It's great. It's so wonderful. Yeah. That's a big yup from this guy. So, like, this video is so weird because so many of these shows I was going, you gotta watch this, it's great, but this season really is fantastic in a lot of ways, I think. I think that any kind of genre that you like, there's a show that seems like it's gonna be pretty awesome, you know? Aside from maybe romance, I don't think we have any real romance stuff this season at all. Except for maybe LULUCO, but that's also very surreal and weird. So, you know, just like a straight up romance thing, we don't really have that this season, but lots of really cool, creative, intelligent drama stuff. So I'm into that. I'm really into that, and I'm really excited to watch all of these shows, to follow them through to the end, and then talk to you guys about how I felt by the end of all of it. But yeah, I hope that helped you at all, and if it didn't, I'm very sorry. Let's see. Other than that, I don't think that I have much else to say, except enjoy your anime, be excellent to each other, and let me know what of these shows you've enjoyed, and if there's any shows I missed that you think I should definitely be watching. Okay? Alright, I'll see you guys at the end of the season. Bye-bye! Mwah!